Hey, Life Groups. It's Joel here with Pastor Mike.
Good evening.
Man, what's that?
I said good evening.
Oh, good evening. Yeah, it's not evening where we're recording this, but it's evening for you, I guess. Man, what a great time we had in John 15 on Sunday. I love this kind of threefold progression that Trent gave us of going from being enemies of God to servants and friends of God. Striking statement, though, from Jesus that you're my friends if you do what I command you. And I was trying to think through this, like, man, that doesn't sound like friendship to me. That sounds like just servanthood. But right after that, Jesus says, "You're not just servants. I've called you friends." And I actually thought of my relationship with you, Mike. Mike he's my pastor. And he actually, for the last 6 months or so, he's now my boss, which is, isn't that cool for you?
Totally cool.
Mike's my boss. He's also one of my best friends. And so I was kind of thinking through that relationship. If Mike asks me to do something as my boss, that's the relationship we now have, and I'm just like, whatever, forget it, and I just don't do it. That's going to have a radical effect on our friendship if I don't understand the dynamic of our relationship in terms of my service and kind of under him, in my job now as my boss. That's going to radically affect our friendship. And I think that's partly where Jesus is going with in that statement. Would you agree with that, Mike?
Yeah, for sure. That kind of the dependent clause of the if, is super important. If you do the things that I command you to do. And my first question is, okay, well, what has he commanded us to do? Right? Because that's what it's dependent on, right? You're my friend if you do what I command you to do. A lot of times we think Christianity or we act like Christianity is just, I'm going to do whatever I want to do and I'm going to go to heaven and everything's going to be great. But there is a relationship of obedience that we're called to have.
Yeah, and thinking through that, what has he commanded us to do? Jesus is very clear. I think just a couple chapters earlier, a chapter or two before this, he says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another." He says it's not a new commandment. What's new about it is Jesus says, "As I've loved you." So now we have his life, we have his example, and we have his power to do this commandment of loving one another.
Yeah, so it's not burdensome. It's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And in it, the result is we find a sweet, not just service under Jesus, but wrapped up in that, a friendship with him.
Amen.
Yeah, so we hope you guys have a great time tonight, and we will see you soon. This is your last life group, actually, for a month, so I guess we'll see you back at the start of May when these start up again, and we hope you guys are blessed. See you later.
Good night.